Hi, Lady Mogul community, and welcome back to another segment of Lady Mogul Talk. Today, we have a very special guest, Pamela Lockley. She is the founder and CEO of Passion plus Purpose equals Prosperity. She is a change agent fulfilling her purpose to help others discover and refine their unlimited God-given potential. Faith in God and His Word is her driving force and foundation upon which she lives. As a coach and facilitator, Pamela is passionate about assisting powerful women to turn their core skills and unique gifts into profitable online businesses. We are all about that here in Black Women Moguls. Pamela leverages her business acumen and entrepreneurial success to empower and inspire women to their own brilliance and leverage their core skills as a springboard to building a life without limits, all while achieving financial and time freedom. Pamela believes that dreaming big is the start of every big accomplishment. And she quotes, "Your life won't go where your mind will not take it." So I am excited to welcome today's guest. Welcome, Pamela Lockley, to the Black Women Mogul stage. How are you today?
I'm doing well. Thank you for having me.
So glad to have you. And one of the things that I always like to start off the segment with is just how you got your start in entrepreneurship. Some people fall into entrepreneurship. Some people knew it was always ingrained in them. So how did you get your start in entrepreneurship?
Well, I think that looking back in hindsight, I was being prepped with all the wonderful careers that I've had over the lifetime. So I've had awesome careers, and at each level of my career, each transition that I made, it became more and more complex. I've had uniquely challenging people to support and some high power profile people that I supported. And I had to learn how to support them in a way that was going to promote their business. So along the way, I learned some good nuggets as to how to get prepared and started for my own business. And then just recently, I was laid off from an industry that I was in for over 20 years. So I took that opportunity to reflect and go back through, I call it my life's resume, and really see what it is that I wanted to do and really do some self-reflection and spend some time with God and talk to Him about what He wanted me to do for my next. So then I came up with this business that basically I've been doing all my life, but just doing it for free. Helping other people discover their unique capabilities and transforming those into the best possible situation for them. Excuse me.
And I like what stood out to me. I like that you said life's resume. I have never heard it put in those terms. And I'm glad you mentioned that and I'm glad you mentioned about getting skills from other careers, because a lot of us sometimes take our 9 to 5 or whatever career we're in for granted. And really, with each career and each position, whether it's volunteer or paid, we can learn something new from each experience. So what is something that you learned, or maybe what are 2 things that you took away from those past careers?
One thing was definitely how to serve and how to be committed and how to work in excellence. You said 2 things, but
Yes, and that's really key. How to work in excellence and how to serve, because when we are business owners, even though we don't have employers per se, our clients technically are our employers, because we have to serve them, and we want to make sure that we get them to the place that they need to be. So I'm glad that you mentioned that. Now, going to your business, why have you been called to help women entrepreneurs and executives specifically to develop their core skills and uncover their unique gifts? It's so needed, but what led you to this particular industry?
well, at first when I started, I was just working in general with the core concepts and business principles that I had learned through my career and through my education, and really put together everything that I enjoyed doing, that I was passionate about, that I really loved. But that was a really broad spectrum of what I could offer. So I had to kind of narrow that down so that I could reach the right audience. So then, this business went through a couple of revamping, regrouping, pivoting, and then I narrowed it down to like who's most attracted to my message. So I was getting women executives, women entrepreneurs who needed my services. So then I began to tailor my services more fine-tunedly to their needs. And of course, being a woman, it's easy for me to relate to their specific needs about what their business life looks like and how to mesh that all together with their personal lives so that they don't feel like they're losing their time freedom and they're still able to have financial independence.
And it's ironic that you said that because I find more times than not, we tend to be our own target market when we have our own businesses. And then also there was something else that you said, how the purpose, that was important. And then, oh yes, it was not having everything maybe at like fine tuned in the beginning. Sometimes we get stuck and say it has to be perfect. We have to have this in order. But you decided to go ahead and start, and then as you continued with your business, you evolved with your brand, and that actually happened with me too. You evolved with your brand and discovered this is exactly what people need. So I would like to ask, as someone who helps someone, the women entrepreneurs specifically, uncover their gifts, what do you think holds most women back from realizing their true potential?
Well, I think a lot of that is fear of letting go and really expressing their true self because they don't know how people are going to react to that person. So they're really conforming to the environment to fit in most cases. And I'm really afraid to be vulnerable and show what their inner self looks like because they don't want rejection. Of course, that's human. We all want approval. None of us want rejection. And some people, on the other hand, they may not know exactly that they were uniquely developed for a specific purpose, and they don't know how to go about pulling out their unique gift, which is their superpower, which causes them to shine and show up for their families in a more positive way, show up at work for a more positive way, show up in their businesses in a better way. So they have to go through a process of really figuring it out, and having that guidance. So I'm a facilitator to help them get to that point to really figure it out. What's so special about them? What is their uniqueness? What makes them shine?
And that is so important. And for that person who is feeling fearful, overwhelmed, frustrated, but they have the big ideas, they just feel stuck. What advice would you have for them to get unstuck?
I would advise them to really look at the end result of what they want to accomplish in their life. And maybe not at the total end of their life, but just say their end result of what they want for that particular season of their life, because we continually evolve. So one season is going to be different from the next. So let's take one season at a time. So right now, what's been tugging at their heart and what's been pulling on them to accomplish, and they put it off and put it off and put it off and not done it. I would say sit down with a plan and figure it out. If they can't figure it out on their own, have someone direct them and say, these are the steps that you need to take to accomplish your end result. And let's piece these together and put them in a plan that you can manage, that is not overwhelming, that you're going to do some goal mapping and set out, some objectives and reach those objectives, and then move to the next thing. And before you know it, you will reach your desired intent.
And that's why it's really important to invest in yourself through coaching, because sometimes they can see the larger picture when you cannot. And that's what I love about your brand, is that you actually help women to do that goal mapping, to walk them through how to build a successful business. So this is the perfect time to interject exactly what you do in your brand and how people can benefit from your services.
Yes. So I have a course that I'm really excited about. It's a 6-week course. It has 6 modules, and the first thing we go through is mindset. So I believe that is the very foundation of what we need in order to get started, to wrap our minds around the fact that we have options and we can do what we set out to do if we set realistic goals, give us the opportunity to remove self limiting ideas and really look at it from a perspective that I can do it. And I have everything that I need within me. I just need to fine tune those core skills and turn them into something that's going to make me really feel that I'm accomplished, that I'm being rewarded, that I'm being fulfilled, and that I am serving other people in a way that they need to be served. And also incorporate all of that into your life and live a life on purpose. And then, we get into in this, the subsequent modules about how to go about setting up your business. Then how do you attract clients that are aligned with your message? How do you speak their language? How do you set up systems to then maintain your clients that you've attracted? And so, each module builds upon the other module.
I'm all for that because that is really the foundation of building a successful business, brand identity, brand perception. So that is really key that you help women with that, because there are programs that might focus on specific areas, but you really give them a holistic approach to how to have a strong brand foundation. And speaking of the things that you do, the many things that you do, you also have a summit coming up, which I am excited to hear more about. And I know our audience can't wait to hear more about it as well.
Yes, so I am really excited about that. I am co-hosting this summit with two other phenomenal entrepreneurs, and we're putting all of our skill sets together to come up with this and bring people some wonderful nuggets and tidbits and inspirational moments and some practical applications as to how they can get started. So this is just not us putting in our knowledge base, but we have about 12 expert panelists that are going to come in and speak with us. They're going to talk to us about health, how to maintain your health, how to remove toxic ideas and toxicity from your whole environment so that you can show up in the right way and be more profitable in your business. We're going to talk about how to pitch for revenue. I know that's one important thing for startup businesses, small business owners, is how do you get the revenue to get started even in the first place? So we're going to have a pitch session to talk about that. We're going to have people come in and talk about how to be prepared for tax prep and how do you position your business? Do you establish LLC? You do S corp, that type thing. So we're talking about business structures. Then we're going to talk about monetizing your skills and turning that into something profitable. We're also going to talk about financing and budgeting. So how do you maintain this? We're talking about back ends, and I'm just trying to remember all the great things that we're going to discuss, but we're going to have experts from all over, because being a virtual summit allows us to bring a lot of people together and be able to present all at one time during this summit. And then for entertainment, we're going to have a fashion show where the designer is going to come in and tell her story about how she pursued her passion to pursue fashion and design, and how she stepped out of her shell and took a leap of faith, and now she's successful at what she does. So it's going to be inspirational, informative, and I hope to get someone to really start thinking about their options that they have and walk away with some practical concepts about starting and running a business.
So it sounds, not only is it just fun and fellowship, but tangible strategies that you can actually use to catapult your business to the next level, which I love, because there are so many conferences that are just about the motivation and you only have a temporary feel good experience, but you are actually giving them tangible strategies that they can apply, which is really important, especially in today's market. So thank you for that. And we're going to definitely put in your information at the end of how they can join your summit. Now, I just want to transition just a little bit and ask if you could change one thing about the way that we approach business today, what would that be?
I would approach it as being more mindful about others' needs. I
Mm-hmm.
know it's easy to think about you need the revenue, of course, to support yourself and your business and make your business thrive. But if you start at the foundation of supporting others' needs and put that first, then the money, the revenue, and everything else will come. And then serve in excellence and serve from within yourself, serve from your basic core skills and your passions so that that will show up in everything that you do. And you won't feel that it's drudgery, that you're doing something that you just have to do to make money. So you want to think about providing excellent services from your core and your passions.
Mm-hmm. That's very key. And I always like to ask um, each guest, what is, well, not as I ask it a different way each time, but what are three tips, or it doesn't have to be three tips, what is the number one tip that you think that every entrepreneur should know in business?
I think that they should get focused on what it is that they really want to accomplish. Look at the end and work their way backwards to get to where they want to go. And plan for things not to go smoothly all the time,
Right.
but get it in their mind that they're in it for the long haul, and remember their why. You
Mm-hmm.
know, develop a why, a reason, a propelling reason for you to do it in the first place, and that will keep you motivated when the little bumps come, so that you will stay on task and know that a lot of business owners, they started and they failed and they started and they failed and they started and then they became something awesome in the
Mm-hmm.
very end.
No, that's very true because I can't count on how both hands how many times I have failed. I thought I was lazy. Turns out I wasn't. I hadn't found my purpose yet. I hadn't found the niche that I needed to be in. So that is really great advice because people think that okay, one and done. I can't do this anymore. I don't have this calling after all. But maybe it's just that you haven't found the right calling or the right audience or have the strategies to position yourself accordingly. So I'm glad that you mentioned that because we do tend to glamorize entrepreneurship and say, oh, yes, you are going to be a success, not necessarily overnight, but it's coming. But we don't show that it does take that hard work, that persistence, the patience to get to that level. And I can't remember exactly who said it, but she said it took her maybe 5 to 8 years. She was doing well, so to speak, but it took her 5 to 8 years to really break into her industry and start making that consistent money, the bigger money, and get attention on a more national scale. So that's really just words of wisdom for us to make sure that we do persist and not give up on day 10 when we have so much more that we can offer. So thank you for sharing that. And we always love to know and keep up with our guests. What is next for you? Please let us know. And then this is the perfect time to interject your contact information and how people can sign up for your summit.
Yes, so people can sign up for the summit at ptpsummit.com, and that'll take them to our landing page, and the registration will be there for them to get signed up for that. They can get in touch with me. That's Pamela at passionpurposeprosperity.com.
And then what is next for you in your business? What is your big vision maybe for the next 3 years?
So my big vision is to continue the summit, make it an annual event, and also take that summit into a retreat type format.
That's going to be amazing. So we can't wait to see that come to fruition. Thank you so much for sharing your time and expertise with us. It's always just wonderful to hear the different perspectives of entrepreneurship, and your words of wisdom and encouragement, I'm sure, will help someone who is watching today. So thank you so much. And this has been another segment of Lady Mogul Talk. Next week, we will be back with another phenomenal guest. Bye, everyone.
Bye. Thanks so much.